My cheating wife invited her affair partner to our kid's birthday without any shame, so I made them regret it. Hello. I've been a lurker here for a little, while trying to process infidelity in my life. Long story short, wife and I have been married 8 years. After a few years longer, total, and have 2 small kids. This year has been tough, but we have had our arguments, but nothing that I would ever think would push my wife to cheat. Anyways, I noticed her lately being distant and being uncommunicative and decided to confront her one evening. At that time, she said that she was not happy and couldn't feel a spark anymore. At first, I freaked out on myself thinking I was being a non-attentive husband, truthfully an issue. However, the next day, I caught a very strange message on her phone that was extremely lovey-dovey. I took a look and then found my wife was messaging a man for a long time with lots of I love yous and plans for a future together. Effing destroyed. Anyways, taking the advice of the many threads on here, I didn't confront initially. I actually read as much as I could, contacted a couple of lawyers of her advice, one now on retainer, and got my head on straight and calm. I confronted my wife a couple days ago calmly and asked if she was having an affair, and after a couple of minutes, she admitted everything. Long story short, it's been going on for 6 months, and she claims it's the deepest emotional connection ever. Complete BS, but whatever. To end it all, I gave my list of boundaries, cut off contact, marriage counseling, etc. The thing that I think is the final nail of an honest attempt to reconcile is she got extremely aggravated with cutting off contact, especially when I told her to do it in front of me, and even insisted to see him one last time for closure. I, having held my ground and told her that he is so important, pack a bag and go live with him, to which she backed off, but not before she told me I was a controlling a-hole. Anyways, she sent a text this morning and showed me, but my spidey senses seem to think she will try a different means of communication. I'm thinking there is no hope, and I honestly don't want it at this point, but I just wanted to be able to tell my kids in 20 years that I at least tried. We have marriage counseling tomorrow, but I'm thinking it's time to file before wasting any time or grief. I'm cautious to move too fast because of my kids, but is this the right way to do it? Gopi continued in the comments. Wow, this thread got big fast. Thanks for the awesome comments. It's been helpful to get validation. I had the paperwork filled out with my lawyer. They just need to process it, and I will have to pick a date to have her served. You're all right. This will not end well if I do go the doormat route. I need to think about my future and my kids and move on. One person responds, and honestly, it's great to see someone not be a doormat in this situation. Honestly, good on you for playing it smart. They will suck, but keep that rage on red hot. Don't let it cool down because you are keeping your head in the game. You will thank yourself later for this. Your kids will also once they are capable of understanding. I would actually consider keeping the evidence locked away in case she ever tries telling the children a different story so they can see it with their own eyes. Probably too extreme and not a good parent thing to do to go that scorched earth and salt the fields. Update 1. The past few weeks simply put sucked, but it's given me time for a lot of soul searching and thinking. As an update from the previous thread, the wife and I did attend some counseling after the initial confrontation. I will say this particular counselor has been very good about listening to both of us and not assigning blame or anything like that, and helping to navigate our new reality. She has also helped to uncover some structural issues in our relationship, and while it doesn't at all excuse my wife's behavior, it's helpful at least knowing for a future relationship and not repeating the same mistakes. As also mentioned in the thread, my wife's initial reaction to my boundary to cut off contact with the fair partner appeared to go unheeded, and it did catch small messages between them before she completely went dark with her chat, logs, and phone. After seeing that, I decided to file, and she was served a few days ago, and in parallel, I decided to have a heart-to-heart with my father-in-law as we are super close and I needed to prioritize this support for our kids versus our relationship. As I can see, my wife wanted to sweep this under a rug. Needless to say, my wife was initially extremely upset. Her fantasy was blown up, but her therapist did talk it through with her from my point of view on why this needed to happen, and I think she has started to realize the consequence of her actions and start to see there are real things that are going to be lost. From here on out, I am just trying to process the new life ahead and the huge change in my identity from a husband-father to something else. Same with her. I will say since I filed, my wife was immediately shocked when I dropped that on her, and she has been very emotional these past few days. I honestly think she thought I would never be able to walk away. I have kept her at her arm's length, but I have seen a distinct change in her, and on a positive note, we have talked more, kept her conversation civil, and focused on our shared priorities. Children mostly. It's very clear to her that she left a huge wound on me, and that she has to do the heavy lifting to help prepare and give me space and time if I can ever begin to forgive. I will say it again and again. Her actions are the most selfish, self-centered, horrible thing you could do to a person. But I have not lost sight that we still need to raise our children, and that is my focus point as I navigate how I will move forward to the next phase of my personal happiness. I wanted to thank everyone for the previous comments and insight. I am honestly proud that I found the strength to not wallow in self-pity, anger, or sadness and was able to make the right moves to retain my dignity and look forward to the bright future. I honestly don't know all the next moves and my feelings are constantly in flux, but I am starting to feel some inner peace. Thank you all again. Small update. I am in the post-serving part and working closely with my counsel. What I am looking for is if any betrayed spouses here took advantage of the affair fog to get better divorce terms and how you pulled it off. My soon-to-be ex-wife is clearly deep in the fog, still seeing contact in the affair partner, which at the moment, I haven't bothered her since it's a good distraction. What did people get agreements on that were unexpected? Any advice is greatly appreciated on how to move through this phase, and also to keep her off balance is also helpful. Besides, Grey Rock and 180 have been going out much more unexpectedly and not divulging details of my activity. Update. Advice Grey Rocking during divorce proceedings. Hi everyone. I posted a few threads about my ongoing saga, but the abridged version is wife cheated. I caught her. She gave me the love, I love you, but not in love, and the affair partner is the greatest emotional connection ever. BS and has circle truth, gaslit, everything to the script. I then proceeded to drop papers on her, and well, here we are a few weeks later. Long story short now, in the post-serving phase and have to cohabitate for now since I want to spend as much time with my children as possible. I now want a separate room too, so this has helped me begin to get that distance. I've implemented the Grey Rock with my soon-to-be ex-wife, generally trying not to be interested in any discussion, but I have to fake it a little, especially with kids around. They are still small, but try to be upbeat as they can sense a lot. I'm also not making myself available in the evening, going out with friends, working out, whatever. Any other advice on how to best handle the situation? It's a delicate balance. I want as much bonding time with my kids and have sucked it up for family dinners and whatnot. Any other do's and don'ts? Update 2. I've made up to you post prior, and to those that don't know the story, it's simply wife cheated, greatest emotional attachment ever, love you but not in love, etc. I threw it on papers, and while I'm just over 1.5 months after D-Day and working like hell to move on, the purpose of this post is not for any update. All I can say is the process is ongoing, and I will give the appropriate update at the right time, likely a while. My only request is for anyone that has gone through the process, please share any good advice, lessons learned, things you would have done differently, or good things to know. The advice in the previous post has been super helpful, and those that have reached out, in other ways, have been incredible, just reaching out in case there is more that can help. Update: she cheated, but I'm made to feel like the a-hole. Hey everyone, my story can be found in my post history, but long story short as always. Wife cheated, founder, greatest emotional nerd ever. I threw down papers, and the train is riding to D-Town. Just wanted to get some stories on how folks dealt with in-laws, friends, etc. making you out to be a bad guy. I did get to jump after filing and told some of the in-laws, my family and some friends, but I didn't broadcast too wide as I wanted to keep some things quiet. That being said, I know my soon-to-be ex-wife likely threw down her side, and well, I'm getting some cold vibes from a lot of her family and some other folks. I know blood is thicker than water, but it sucks when your close family turns their backs despite being a good dad and the wife being an immoral turd. Did people start to see stuff later on and change their opinion, or just stop caring and moving on? Update 3. Hi everyone. As of today, there is some closure coming my way in my saga that started over the summer and have been posting, getting advice from everyone here. I just want to start off and thank this community for the incredible support and advice, especially to those folks who probably messaged and offered words of wisdom along the way. This is a crappy process to go through, especially when close family's far away. It sucks to be alone with your thoughts, but there is some wisdom and introspection to gain during this. For those that need a recap, One of the many threads is below, but the TLCR is my wife cheated and tried to hide it. I found out, realized there was no hope as she was deep in the fog with a fair partner, and immediately filed on her. Anyways, the past few months have been frosty but relatively drama-free as the soon-to-be ex and I separated our lives in the house but still did things for our children. The discovery and mediation process proceeded pretty quickly. We agreed on 50-50 for our kids along with schedules and holidays, and since it's a no-fault state, as the division was by the book with some give and take. I won't go into details too much at this time, maybe another post in the future, but I will be finding a place soon for a fresh start. The final conclusion is on the horizon, but for the most part, the D is complete. As for my advice from this whole fiasco, I learned a bunch of things. 1. Don't bother with the pick-me dance. I tried for a week before wising up to her cheating. My soon-to-be ex is still in the fog, but it's her decision. She needs to live with it. 2. Do lawyer up with an experienced family law attorney who is reasonable. I can't say enough of the person who took care of me. Understanding that this is what I want versus reality was important in converging to the end. I don't have any crazy ridiculous fees as I did a lot of the prep and avoided hours and hours of back and forth, and this was able to be settled rather quickly. 3. Do lean on friends and family to support as much as possible. 4. Working out exercise is key to keeping your mental health. I hit the weights a month after D-Day, and I'm starting to reap the benefits, and that confidence has been helpful to get across the finish line. 5. Get into individual counseling and talk with someone. This has helped me tremendously. 6. I realize this from all the posts I read, but the cheaters' decisions are all on them. I heard it all from my soon-to-be ex. I was a roommate. I love you. Not in love. Our marriage went so wrong. I worked too much blah blah. Should be told now that I know the timeline. Our marriage went wrong after she invited someone in her life that was feeding her lines that stroke her ego and give her extra attention, and she had to put up walls and make me the bad guy to justify this in her mind. Sure, she may have been stressed from kids' day-to-day life in a long-term marriage, but not communicating to her husband and confiding in a two-time divorced cheater with no moral compass is all on her and a recipe for disaster. The exciting final chapter of Captain Sacknuts, Freeman A. Cheese, 5-year plan, Sid, a fair partner, is yet to be written. A poor choices carry consequences. That is all I will say on the matter. Again, thank you to everyone. I still have a lot of work ahead, but also many adventures in this new chapter of my life. I hope I can return the favor to anyone who needs it. Please reach out if anyone needs a helping hand. I am here. Update. As your ex pushed to still be in your life after divorce, get a question for the group. My post history details, the greatest emotional connection. Love story ever. Haha. I am not so far away from moving into my own place. As I have a couple of kids with my soon-to-be ex, and also for legal reasons, I have remained in our marital house as this process has taken place. I have posted a couple other threads of the ongoing saga. Thankfully, the light is at the end of the tunnel for me soon. Obviously, I have to co-parent with my cheating ex and will be friendly for that, but I have been firm in saying she killed our marriage and by default any sort of friendship. I have no room in my life for a lying cheater. She has, however, been insistent about wanting to be there for me, promising to help decorate my new house and keeping holiday traditions for the kids. Again, I have remained firm in saying she torpedoed our relationship and wanted to replace me, so I am simply giving her that wish and even gone as far as to say she won't be a welcome guest in my house. Has anyone had this happen with the ex wanting to hang around? I have to guess it's some sort of optic. If we are friends, the split can't be so bad. So far, a fair partner has not shown his face and she tries to hide it, but I know it's a matter of time before the greatest emotional connection gets to go live. I have no desire to ever be in the same room as them two anyways, but will remain outside the blast radius with popcorn when the whole thing goes up in flames. Thanks as always to this awesome group. Awesome responses. First one, she is doing it for herself. It would absolve her partially from her guilt, at least in her mind. It would mean that the betrayal and hurt cannot be that big of a deal if you still let her be in your inner circle. Don't let her. The OP replies, yep, I know she is always concerned with image management, constantly posting on social media, etc. I have been letting my social media dry up anyways for my mental health, but she is definitely not in my inner circle, or I have been sharing my thoughts plans with her. The individual says, She is doing it as a control tactic. She is taking advantage of the fact that she has a new shag locked and loaded ready to go and you don't. Help you decorate your new house? AKA, she is trying to take control and put her stamp on your new family home. And yet, would in no way allow you to help her with the new greatest of all time decorate their viper's nest. Keeping holiday traditions is exactly the same thing, as she gets to create the traditions with you and in her own home before you get a new person. You can bet your boots she tried to treat your eventual new person as the outsider. The next person offers, it's the only way she can save face. You be her friend and she can say, see, we were meant to be just friends. Don't get in. Hell, don't even respond. Great, rock the hell out of her. I would even consider not telling her where you lived the first couple of months and doing handovers in a neutral place or her place to enforce that point. Otherwise, be consistent with your messaging. We are not friends. Let's learn to strictly co-parent. I do not want you in my personal life anymore. Consider forcing the conversation to a co-parenting app if you need to force the message home. She lives in a dulled world here where she fell out of romantic love for you a long time ago but still cares about you as the father of her kids, and imagine some scenario where you all will happily co-parent and cheer holidays and such. Zero empathy for your feelings. Update 4. As of today, the official decree went out and I'm no longer married. I also picked up the keys to my new house and will start the process to move ASAP. I did used to take a buyout as I felt it was best to start fresh in a place of my own to make new memories, and I really got lucky. I found a nicely kept up house barely a minute away from my current home. Rich fenced-in backyard with fire pit, big garage, and pre-mellow location. I also back up to a nature preserve as I'm an avid outdoorsman biker. I have a gateway to my own little paradise. Some will ask, why so close? Well, I want to be close to my kids because they need to know their dad is close by for when they need me. Thanks to the advice of this community, I kept my mind focused on what was important, started a workout program, and also dove headfirst into a new career opportunity that recently paid itself huge dividends. I have not bothered with online dating or seeking out a new partner and will likely enjoy the single life for a while. I have my 2 little kids to focus on and fully plan on focusing on them and my personal growth for a little while. As for my ex and affair partner, I honestly have started to let go of that disaster. Whatever happens will happen, and it's no longer my concern, as someone eloquently said before. When someone gets with somebody who cheated on their spouse, they are getting someone who cheated on their spouse. I did my best as a husband and father, and it's time for someone else to appreciate it. Thank you for all the messages, advice, well wishes, and so on. My life has depended on this so much these past months when I didn't have very many close by to turn to. For those that are at the very beginning of this craft deal, please keep putting one foot in front of the other and surviving every day. I'm not an expert in life, but I'm also willing to lend an ear to those who need it. Good luck, y'all. Update. I'll have a life update coming soon as I have some pretty major things, mostly good, happening after my official divorce. That being said, in my new free time, I unfortunately have looked back and saw the life I had planned evaporate. I wonder how could this happen in such a short time. I'm sure everyone has had much time to ponder the who, what, where, when, why. But I look back in my wayward spouse and I had a great life ahead of us. Careers that are doing great after some initial major efforts to establish ourselves, paid off, home to beautiful children who are now out of diapers. This college fund is being funded amongst the multitude of other things going for us. Thinking about this is my last hurdle to get over, but I really can't understand the mindset of someone who had so much going for her, but decided to nuke it all and is going all in on unreliable serial cheating turd. Need I mention OMB one more time to this group? I know I'm going to struggle for a while to heal from all this, but I just look at our history and lives together and just think, how can a person be so selfish and stupid? I get the desire can't be negotiated and all that jazz, but dang, the whole point of being married is to work together through things as a team and to continuously fall back in love with one another. Thanks again to this great group for all the insights. I know I will likely sound like a broken record, but these forums have been great to vent this stuff. Update 5. Hello all. Wanted to give a quick update, especially to those folks who just went through their D-Day and are worried about what life may be like. I'm 6 weeks post-decree and I have moved into my new place a month ago, working like a madman to get it set up into my sanctuary. I finally have it well furnished and it feels like home. My home. My kids have now been over many times, and the rotation is working well. I've read many times here that kids are resilient, but until you see it firsthand, it is worrisome. I'm happy to report they are handling things pretty well, and we have our own fun at Dad's house, and they have told me many times they love being over. As for me, it's initially been weird having some newfound freedom, but I found making to-do lists and daily, weekly, long-term goals is helping a lot. I was initially sad, but keeping busy keeps that away. I'm focused only on self-improvement at the moment. I've thought about putting myself back on the scene, but truthfully I have no interest, so I'm keeping focused on home improvement, fitness, and my kids. Some commented on one of my posts that getting out of the house was like being underwater and coming up for air, and they were right. As for the cheating acts, I keep it cordial, but that's it. No sign of the greatest emotional connection of air partner yet. What the F? But who cares? I'll just say tonight I sat outside, had a few beers and a cigar, and enjoyed the peace and tranquility of my property, and thought getting the heck away from the situation my ex put me in was the right thing. To those at the beginning and doubting leaving, I get it. It's the toughest thing and heartbreaking is kicking the junk, but making the decision to eject a cheater out was the only right decision, and I only feel with time it will get better. Cheers, everyone. Update. Hi all. Another update from AC496. Once again, thank you all to the wonderful people for their comments and support. It's now month 2 of being on my own, and my house is coming together quite nicely. My kids have been doing very well and making memories, and I have some fun trips planned in the near future. As per the usual advice, I have kicked my weight training and dieting into the next gear, and furnished my home gym with some better equipment, and also been hitting the heavy bag very regularly. It must be working. In my monthly therapy sessions, my counselor noticed I was putting on weight in the right places, and she said it's great the progress she is seeing mentally and physically. So a little information, things are going in the right direction. I have not bothered to date look at this point. It's early on, and I'm just enjoying the free time, new projects, and time with friends. So to the point of the post, and I'm sure everyone keeps wondering, has crappy luck hit crappy people? Well, I don't have the wonderful post to detail the destruction of OMB or the ex-wife just yet. However, it's odd as the greatest romance ever hasn't been revealed at all, and OMB is still a secret. I wanted to ask why this could be. Is my ex-wife just playing image management and waiting to reveal all at a time that looks better? But isn't the thrill of the affair dead now that they can't sneak around? I'm no longer around, so I just find it odd. I have a feeling they are still communicating. She makes it obvious she is by hiding her phone still if I'm around during kids' activities. But why? It's like you wanted this. You snuck around and claimed this was the most amazing thing ever. Why not blast that out now that the horrible ex-husband is gone? Has this happened to anyone else with their ex and affair partner? One person has a response. Mate, you probably shouldn't waste time trying to figure out what is going on inside a crazy person's brain. There could be dozens of reasons, but who knows, and mainly who cares? Update 6. Hi all. I'm almost to the 6-month mark, past divorce and nearly to the year past D-Day. It's been cathartic to post, but I know a lot of folks have followed my journey, commented message, given hope, etc., and like many others, posted along the journey to give the unfortunate new folks here some ray of light that despite the darkness you have stepped in, there is another side. I hope I continue to help in whatever small way I can to anyone in need. I greatly appreciate the support I got, and in kind would always love to return the favor. On that note, 6 months past D-Day, and there was a lot of positive news. My house is furnished in a home. My kids are comfortable in the routine and love coming over and have made some neighborhood friends. I am beyond thankful that the little ones manage this process so well, and they just understand there is dad time and mom time and no complaints or tears. Outside of them being here, I have immersed myself into a crap ton of home improvements. The house I moved into was occupied by an older, divorced gentleman, and some stuff got left to the wayside. But I look at it as an opportunity to make it my own. Along with that, I furnished a home gym in my house with everything I need and can say I'm getting my workouts and boxing in 4 times a week and getting my body back to where I needed to be. Through this whole ordeal, I also went through a major career change internally to where I work and somehow managed to not mess anything up. But instead, I've gotten kudos. I've kept my situation private, a raise, and plenty of exposure to get my career directory moving up. Yes, I still struggle daily with mental health and focus, but I manage it with therapy and workouts, and things are getting better. I think less and less of my ex-wife each day, and each small step is a relief. As for her, well, she's still in La La Land, but I can only say we co-parents decently well. I gray rock the heck out of her, let's be friends. But keep us strictly to kids, and it's been cordial. I'm sure anyone who has followed my story has wondered about the saga of OMB. All I can say is, the world's greatest love story hasn't gone live, but my kids have made me aware recently he has been around in a small capacity. I have to laugh a little as it's now 6 months past D-Day and they are still sneaking around. All great hallmarks of a long-lasting, trusting relationship guaranteed to stand the test of time. I've come to terms with whatever is going to happen will happen, and at this point, I am lucky to be away from a person that is willing to lie to their most trusted partner's face and not feel an ounce of remorse and have a solid chance at building an even better life than before. Good riddance and good luck. Anyways, that is all, and yet another big thanks to all those that follow and comment message send rays of hope. I will keep updating and supporting as always. Update hi y'all. It has on the thoughts of a good conversation I had with the buddy last night over many beers. It's amazing sometimes how the world's problems can be solved on Friday night. For context, my buddy also got divorced 7 years ago, and his circumstances are eerily similar to mine. Even our exes have the same birthday. I have mentioned in previous posts recently, but the grand reveal of OMB and my ex is slowly taking form. I am low contact with my ex, but my kids make comments, and it's hard not to get hurt. Whatever. Guys, my buddy noticed I was a bit frustrated and said this, and it helped me a lot. Dude, think about their lives. 2 cheaters getting together, and think about how crappy, low-value turd he is for manipulating a married woman with kids. Now look at it this way. They have to make it work no matter how about it when he comes. You or I can meet women, and if it's not good we move on. No problem, no worry. They are stuck. He has to be in your old house knowing you built that, has to deal with your kids and inherits your selfish ex and in-laws. But they are stuck, or else they look stupid. Can you imagine that kind of hell? But you're free. I stewed on that, and this morning it really helped to realize that. Who did a horror future to have to look forward to? Anyways, wanted to pass this thought and also ask if others came to this conclusion or saw it in action. Thank you to you awesome people as always. Update 7. A fair partner is invited to my kid's birthday. Hi all. It's me here. A big thanks to this lovely group as always. I have something to get off my chest for those that remember my saga. I've been progressing well, and I have some big updates coming soon as I like to post positive things in my journey to help those in their journey. But for now, I may need of advice. Background. My daughter's birthday is coming up this weekend. I already celebrated last weekend with my family and had a small thing. Nothing crazy, and my daughter loved her presents and cake. Well, the ex-wife is having her usual looking how awesome I am party this weekend. I did get an invite, but I just found out the other day that good old OMB, a fair partner, is confirmed going to be there. I called out my ex-wife saying this was a pretty crappy thing to do, but she didn't reply. Better yet, the ex-wife's co-workers and family and friends who knew about the affair will be there, and the party is at my old house. Enemy territory. This is just horrid overall, as it's my daughter's party after us divorcing, and I can't help but feel it's a setup. This is lose-lose, and after talking with some other supportive members here, this feels like entering a pit of vipers. The only thing I can think of is going and dressed well, fresh haircut, and showing off my new physique. Hey, I've been doing the work and staying a little while, but either way, I just don't like this. I feel this is super manipulative of the ex-wife. She knows exactly how she is playing this and wants me to do something petty. Any advice is appreciated. Edit. Wow, the responses have been awesome. You guys are all awesome. I will try and respond to each and every one when my day calms down. Here's a response from the community. Don't go. You already had your party for your daughter and have celebrated with her, and it sounds like she enjoyed it. That's all that counts. Tell your ex-wife you don't associate with home records, plural, and you'll separate the parties from now on to avoid cross-contamination. Final update. Hey everyone, I wanted to thank the massive amount of support I got on my post from earlier this week. Since the beginning of this saga, this community has been my lifeboat and a saver with advice to get me through all of this. Thank you all. It truly means the world to me. As are the juicy update. Well, this is a good one. So I initially told the ex-wife that I'd be joining. What I didn't do was tell her I'd changed my mind. I waited until Saturday morning to pop by the house and drop off my daughter's card and present. Well, unbeknownst to me, the kids were dropped off at Grandma and Grandpa's house for the morning, and as I drove up into the driveway, in my sports car I may add, none other than OMB's turd wagon was on the side of the road. I strolled into the backyard quietly with a smile and surprised both the ex-wife and OMB as they were putting up decorations. The look of utter terror was on both their faces, and I crap you not, OMB didn't look me in the eyes once, but was like, "Oh hey man." Honestly, when I look at both of them, I didn't feel the anger but just a sense of how sad you both are. Good luck together. Is that growth? I kept my composure and just said, "I'm here to give my daughter her present, but I won't be joining." The ex-wife was shocked, and I swear in the nicest voice I have ever heard in my life, she darn near pleaded for me to join. I said, "Thanks but no thanks. I will go to your parents' place to give my daughter her gift." In part of ways, I did give a, "Hey, see you later," OMB before strolling out, head held high. Not more than 3 minutes later, I got a phone call from the ex-wife again pleading to come to the party, but I held my ground and politely refused. A few minutes later, I dropped off the gift, went into the ex-in-laws for a few minutes and played with my kids and said my goodbyes, all very kindly and not mentoring in the situation. As for me, I kept myself busy tending to my house. I got a good workout in, much needed after a break, and I went out on a date. Ultimately, it was kind of a bust, but she was nice and at least it was a distraction. My daughter called me today and thanked me for my gift, but she didn't ask why I wasn't there. So like everyone said, she was so busy she didn't pay attention. So there it is. I know if I would have went, I would have set myself back a ton, and for nothing instead. She told everyone I'd be there, and with me and no show and OMB there, I'm absolutely certain people will put 2 and 2 together on why. Now I can go about my weekend not feeling like I'm mentally exhausted and do some fun things. Thank you again, everyone. Update. Hey everyone, this is going to be a short but rather humorous update to my previous posts. The outreach was incredible. Thank you all for your advice, and I'm still smiling from the rope-a-doby I pulled last week. I've really had a really good week since then. Anyways, here's your Friday humor. Some background. Since after D-Day, if those that have followed my saga may remember, my in-laws dropped me like a hot potato. I get it. Blood is thicker than water. However, I have had one member of my extended family reach out, and we regularly hang out. He is truly a man of character. Well, I got a text on Saturday during the party. "Hey man, let's grab some beers this week. Your presence is missed here." Fast forward to the other day. We meet, start consuming beers, and get down to business. He first starts talking about the awkward, shy show the party was with people clearly looking at their feet at the situation. Apparently OMB was not introduced to anyone. The ex-wife was deliberately apart from him during the party and was mostly directing him on things to do, and the in-laws didn't bother to talk to him and sat with themselves looking pretty annoyed. He clearly was a fish out of water and actually went inside most of the time and avoided almost everyone. It was also a quiet comment among some of the in-laws, aunts, uncle side of things that this party is classless. I swear, I'm heading toward indifference, but I just laughed my butt off. My absence was well understood, and my earlier gift giving to my daughter was also known. So it seems like the family had full understanding of my absence. Mission accomplished. Anyways, that is my Friday humor. For those new to your own bad situation, I cannot stress enough of taking the high road, acting with dignity and class, and just moving toward living the best life. It's not always the most satisfactory course of action, but like weight training, the results take time but are worth it. Happy Friday, y'all.